Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome back. This is my first anniversary year on Booktube. So I wanted to do a special video. I asked earlier for questions so I could do a Q&A, and so I got a bunch of good questions. So I'll try not to take too long, but some of these were really good, so I'll try to be really thoughtful about my answers. So the first one was from Andrew at You Could Be Reading More, and the question. Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome back. This is my first anniversary on Booktube, so I wanted to do something special, and so this video is a Q&A. I wanted to reach out and see if you had any questions, and you guys did not disappoint. I got a lot of great questions, so I'll try to be equally thoughtful on my responses. And so my first question was from Andrew at You Could Be Reading More, and the question was, what is your favorite sandwich? I like hot sandwiches, so my favorite is a Reuben sandwich, which all the ingredients separately don't sound the best, but when you put it together, it's a fantastic sandwich. But it's rye bread, corned beef, sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, and Thousand Island dressing. I love it. Also, you can never go wrong with a grilled cheese sandwich. Mike at Bibliophile Reads had a bunch of them, so I picked some of my favorites that weren't repeated by other questions from other people. So here are some of his. What was your biggest fear before uploading your first video? It was absolutely that I thought nobody would watch it. Number 2, what almost stopped you from starting? So I had watched booktuber videos for a while, and they're all beautifully edited, and they're easy to understand the way that they describe their books and everything. I just didn't think that I would be able to even compete with that, which I know we're not all supposed to be competing or anything, but to be able to have anybody actually watch mine, I just didn't think that I had any of those technological advantages that they did. And so I was almost scared to start, just because I thought that I would be way behind and not be able to keep up with what everybody else was doing. Which video would you remake today? And to coincide with that is, which videos or what one are you most proud of? So redoing them, I would probably remake some of my first ones. I just felt so awkward, and I guess I can see kind of the growth as I get a little bit more comfortable. And even if I'm rambling, I still feel like I'm confident enough to talk about how I feel. And also, I kind of understand what I want for this channel, what kind of community and stuff. And so I'm not as scared to talk about some things as I was back then, when I just was only talking about books, or doing some of the more popular tags or video type things. So and then what one would I be most proud of? There are a few, and they're actually very few of them are book related. I really enjoyed my one that I did for Saracen, that was about Michigan. He had asked me to do one celebrating where I'm from, so I did that video and I really enjoyed it. I also really enjoyed the video that I did for the anniversary of the bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And so those ones were more just discussion and history based. One that is sort of book related, since it is Booktube, is the one that I did this year for Women's History Month. because I listed a whole bunch of recommendations, but I also talked about women's history and what about it was important to me. So I'll link all those videos below in case you missed them or you would like to watch them. Number 4 was, how has Booktube changed your reading habits, or how have your taste changed? And the reading habits is a little bit more of a change for me. I still read everything that I've wanted to read. I'm not scared to read, just random stuff. But I have always been a mood reader, and trying to keep up with Booktube and do a bunch of the events is kind of making the way that I read change a little bit. So this year is Historathon, and as much as I've loved participating in it, trying to fit them within each quarter when I really just want to, keep reading ancient history, or I would prefer to read a later time period and we just didn't make it yet. And if I want to, compete in the group with everybody else, I felt like I had to try to stay in my lane a little bit more. And then, you do pile up possibilities and you do want to try to get through some of them. So then it's taken away from some of my other reading that I guess I would have been more in the mood to read. So that's kind of how it changed. But as far as my tastes, the only really change is that I've already been an eclectic reader. I've already read widely and all different genres, and also I like different themes and stuff that I follow. But I never really read a whole lot of horror before, and then there's a couple of other genres that I wasn't always overly familiar with, like current horror, but also classic sci-fi is stuff that has just never really been on my radar for wanting to read. And then seeing other people read it or enjoy it, or talking about books that actually sound fascinating to me, has kind of allowed me to even understand that those were genres that I had blind spots to before. How has your approach to collecting books changed? Do I buy more or less now? I always bought a lot of books. That is a problem I've always had. But collecting them, it's not so much that it changed because of Booktube, but I do want to have more access to my books. I do have a storage unit that I have, like when I read a book, I like swap it out with the stuff that I have in the storage unit. But because of that, I don't always have the physical copies of the books when I want to talk about them. And I know that that's really popular here, is, to be holding the book in the hand. And since I don't always have access to my physical books that I've read, but also I read audio, or I read ebooks or listen to audiobooks, I don't always have the physical one in hand. And that does kind of make me feel like I'm not connecting to the audience as much, or giving them a visual aid the way that a lot of people do. So I have been trying to not swap out as much, but then I don't have the books that I always want to read here, because I'm keeping more of the ones that I've already read just so I can do a later video. So that kind of has changed that a little bit. Number 6 from Mike was, what kind of community do you hope to build? And I'm building the one that I was even better than I had hoped. I came on Booktube because I wanted to talk about books and talk about the things that matter to me, and just discuss book related things, even if it wasn't always only book content. And I never thought that I would, find my niche of people who basically want those same things, and just a kind community that's supportive from all over the world, that is just talking about our, not just love for books, but our other passions and things that we get excited about. And so I've been really fortunate to already start finding my people, and I just hope to build on that. Number 7, goals for year 2. What kind of videos do you want to make more of? That kind of combined 2 questions there. So my goals for our year 2 are to do more what I want to do and less of the stringent monthly reading goals and stuff. Like if it's something that I've already planned to read and stuff, I'll participate, but I don't want to change my reading habits. I've enjoyed being a mood reader, and I kind of want to go back to just reading whatever I want to read instead of trying to fit it within what everyone else is reading. So I will be doing more of that. So it's probably going to be a lot less of the community stuff, which is unfortunate since I just said that I want to build a community. But I feel like by being more broad about what I want to cover and talk about, it might be something that we can interact with within the community, since it's not what everybody else is doing. So maybe it will give us a different perspective or something to talk about, rather than us just always all doing the same thing. That said, I also would though like to do a couple of more buddy reads coming in the next year, just because I've really enjoyed the ones that I have done, group reads or buddy reads. So as for videos, what do I want to make more of? I would like to make more of the discussion-based ones, just kind of talking about my thoughts around books, around reading in general, and stuff like that. Because like I said, some of my favorite ones were not book-based at all, but just things that were on my mind or important to me, and I just wanted to share with this community. So I'll probably be making more of those. And then always my wrap-up videos, since I do read a lot. I'll maybe not include like every book I read, because I do read quite a bit each month, but maybe some of them, you know, like the hits and misses, and then just save some of the other books for my random recommendation videos, rather than trying to do very long videos discussing in detail the content of each of the books that I read. I'll see how I go, but that's kind of what I've been thinking going forward. And then the next person who asked a question was Allison at Allison Talks Books. And she had 2 questions as well. What about Booktube surprised you? And that would be the fact that I did find a community, the fact that I've been lucky enough to have people very kind and supportive. I know that some of the stuff I talk about is very decisive, or some of the books that I read tend to be, but I have really enjoyed the discussions I've had around those books. And I was really glad that there's no negativity or anything going off one of Mike's questions about kind of what you were scared of. Is I honestly was scared to be myself on Booktube because I was scared that it would draw negativity, and I'm really glad that it hasn't. And so I'll be able to continue to be myself, and just the people who are drawn to that will stay, and that's what matters. So number 2 by Allison was, what did you learn that you didn't expect when you started? And I guess that kind of goes with what I just was talking about, is I didn't realize that there was a community for me, and that we could be more than just commenting back and forth on each other's videos. Like the fact that we have our own Discord and are talking, a group of us, as well as contacting with Angelina and sending books back and forth across the world, and just stuff like that. Doing buddy reads with Saracen and Doug via email, like all the different ways that I've been able to take this outside of YouTube and Booktube in general and just create something real rather than just discussing videos with each other. And then Patrick at Patrick's Book Reviews asked, if you could have any other booktuber's library, whose would you take and why? He did have a caveat that they get to keep their library. I would just get a duplicate of it. And this answer was very easy for me. It would be Saracen's. I have a lot of fiction books. And I read a lot of nonfiction, but I don't always have the books. I usually listen or get them from the library or something. So the fact that he has a huge library of primarily nonfiction would be absolutely amazing for me. So definitely his. The next question at the Outlaw Levi Wallace asked, what makes for a great DNF, do not finish or did not finish? So I do give books a chance because I do know that there are some books that they're just not right for you right now. And so if I can't get into it, I'll, put it aside and I'll start reading something else. If I want to go back, or if I've been constantly thinking about that book that I set aside and I do want to go back to finish it, I will. If I stopped it and put it aside and just never thought of it again, that obviously was not the book for me, and why would I waste any more time, and I'm just never going to read it. So I don't even have like a specific number, or like a page number or a page count that I stop on, just like when I'm not feeling it, when I don't look forward to the book that I'm picking up, I'll just, like I said, grab another one and go from there. So just if it's not for me, it doesn't mean it's not a great book. It doesn't mean that it's maybe if I do think about it way down the line and want to, but I had mentioned in another video that I don't even remember my list of DNFs. If I put it aside and just never thought about it again, I never thought about it again. So like I don't have that list of all the books that I haven't finished or anything like that. I just literally forget about them. Austin at Eternal Reading asked, and this one was one of the harder questions, so I did have to put a lot of thought into this one, but I really like this question, so thank you, Austin. If you could spend time with 3 authors, dead or alive, around a table, and you could, who would it be, and what would you ask them? So the 3 I picked was Shakespeare, and I would point blank ask, did you really write everything that's been attributed to you? And depending on the answer, what inspired you, and then especially for my favorite plays, I would want to know what inspired him for those ones. But also, what do you wish you could have written? Do you have any ideas left on the table that you never got to, essentially? The next question would be Suzanne Collins, who wrote Hunger Games. And so I would ask, if you were born in a different time period, so like Victorian age or Regency era, or anything like that, what would you have written about? What would you have criticized, commented about their society? And so essentially, what would your Hunger Games version look like from Victorian age? That's what I would want to know. And then the last person, George Eliot. So if you lived now, would you still write under a pseudonym, or would you want to use your own name? What would you comment on now, like you did back then? Like, what is important to you to criticize and write about? And then also, if you could go back again and do it all over, back then, would you keep your name or would you still use the pseudonym? So those are my questions for those three people. Pat at Book Chat with Pat asked, are there any genres that you've started to explore or that you would like to explore in the future because of your experience on Booktube? And that kind of does go with Mike's question about tastes earlier. I would like to explore more horror. I have started reading some contemporary horror and have loved it, but I have not really read anything classic horror, and that's taken out Dracula, Frankenstein, and even Picture of Dorian Gray. But like somewhere in between when those were written and the current horror being written, I would like to read more in that era. I don't even know where to start. I know Stephen King would be the obvious choice, but I honestly don't even know where to start with him. The only one I've read from him was his novella, Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. So I would be completely clean, a blank. I can't even think straight. I'm so sorry. A blank slate when it comes to where to start with King. So if you do have any recommendations for that. And then also, as I said before, classic sci-fi. I've read some, modern stuff, but nothing beyond like 20 years ago or anything like that. So I that would be something that I would have a lot of area to explore and also not really know where to start. Also, another one is poetry. Like I know the big poets and stuff, but I don't know a whole lot of modern poets. And I would also like to explore poetry from other cultures, especially classics from other cultures, besides the obvious Rumi and stuff. I would not even know where to start with them, but when people talk about that on BookTube or read different poetry and stuff, I always love it. I just have really never explored it on my own. And then Pat also asked, is there a book or an author or a series that you wish you could share with everyone? What or who is it, and what would you want others to know? This one is, I wish I had written down for this one. There's no specific one because if it's something that I love, I've already talked about it on my random recommendations, or if it's something that I've currently read, I'm gushing about it already. So I think as far as if there's something I wish I could share, I guess I just need more time to make videos so I can share all the stuff that I've read over the years, because when it comes to sharing and talking about books, I just want to talk about all of them. So I'm sorry that's not the best answer for that, but I'll try to think and maybe do a video specifically for another random book recs for like just random authors that people don't really talk about a lot that I would like people to know about. And then her other question was, I think this was from her. Yeah, this had to be from Pat. So who in your life influenced you to become a reader? So my mom used to read to me a lot as a child, and we always had a library of children's books that I was obsessed with. But also, my grandpa wasn't so much like a novel reader, but I would go over there and he'd be reading the dictionary or one of his mini encyclopedias, and just like he's where my love for history and stuff came from. But just the idea of further education and just educating yourself and exploring the areas that you're interested in, even maybe if nobody else is. So they encouraged that curiosity in me, and that's really where it all started. I don't have anyone else in my everyday current life or even growing up that was an avid reader themselves when it came to novels and stuff that I could just like talk about reading with or anything like that. It was just they fostered my love of reading themselves and just encouraged me to continue that. Not that my mom was a reader herself. And I think the other thing was in high school, one of my English classes, we actually got to choose the books that we were going to read and do a report on. And I liked that so much better than always being told what books to read and how to think about the books that we read. And so I think that was the point where it really just encouraged me to seek out the kind of books that I might be drawn to and read them. And then the last one, the question is from Angelina. She used to be at Book Do Things to Me, but she doesn't have that channel anymore. So she's under at 700 Poodles. So Angelina asked, how have you grown as a reader since your Booktube journey? I feel like I do read more deeply into things now, even more than before. Prior to Booktube, I was keeping reading journals after I read each thing, and I kind of want to go back to that. And I was actually considering doing a video grabbing some of those old reading journals and giving reviews for some of the things that I've read that I haven't discussed yet. If that is of interest to anyone, please let me know and I will do that because I was already thinking it would be fun to do. But because I'm not doing reading journals anymore, because that was very time consuming, and literally I would have to write so much, all my favorite quotes and all that stuff, and take away from, starting the next thing that I wanted to be reading. And this way, I can read something, kind of put a couple of notes down, marinate on it, kind of formulate what I want to talk about, and then when I get a chance to do a video, I'll talk about it. Rather than writing my first initial thoughts, it will be, weeks or days later after I read it where it really got to set with me and I get to talk about it. And I think that that's helped me be even more considerate when it comes to books, instead of just my first impressions and then kind of letting it go, that I've sat with it a bit longer. I've discussed it with other people, kind of saw it in different ways, and that brings a deeper appreciation to it than I had before. And I do like that I get to discuss it. So even if I don't like a book, having somebody else talk to me about it and their reasons makes me appreciate the book rather, even if it wasn't for me. And then I hope that I do that for others, that even if they're never going to read the book, or even if they absolutely hated it, they might at least get something different out of it that that will stick with them a little bit more than just completely disliking the book or something like that. So I guess that's how it has affected me, and I believe that it is in a good way that it did. So I really enjoyed this, and I really thank you all for taking the time and coming up with a question for me, participating in this, celebrating this anniversary with me. And I do hope that there are many more to come. So thank you. Happy reading, and looking forward to year 2 here on Booktube.